Hey glitches, today we got another banging video. If you haven't already, join the Belmar Discord server. We have hundreds of posts in our dataset and resources channel of things that are really hard to find on the internet. Anyways, let's get right into this video.
Who wants to be first? I'm both shy today.
What do we do?
Yo, can
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
What's going on? It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name is Miguel. I've been in this group for, I think, this is my third week. It's been a really cool experience. I learned a lot.
Nice.
And one of the things I was interested in was your anchoring that you do with the scents.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried it yet, but I'm looking to try it. But I wanted to ask if you had something like that when you were starting out, or like dealing with like temptation, or like getting, like, is that something you would often do in a similar way to, get yourself away from that?
I mean, yeah. Yo, guys, if you're loud in the background, mute yourselves, please. Out of respect for everyone. Now you'll be kicked out. Yeah, like anchoring is pivotal. It's pivotal because it makes things a lot easier. You can anchor with smell, right? And people are like, well, is that true? Yes or no? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you a practical example. You go walking on the street, smell scent of gas or fresh lawn that's been freshly mowed. You know what I'm saying? It triggers memories from the past. So there is certain power to smell. So if you can, in some way, be able to combine like essential oils. I did peppermint oil in the morning with my walks. For what was going to occur during the day. And there's times when I feel like working out, but every time I took that essential oil, it did kind of like stimulate and almost recreate that subconscious programming that one goes consciously trying to create. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That being said, there's multiple things you can do. Also, like tapping as well, like tapping on your thymus and like humming, like focusing on breathing through your nose slowly and then letting go and humming and your thymus, essential oil, lavender. That can be a great way to like stimulate the parasympathetic system, as well as like try to find different ways to anchor in more of a mellow state. That being said, you can apply that if you're getting nervous, if you're getting anxious, or if you want to go to sleep as well. So it goes both ways.
Nice. Do you use music at all for like certain anchors like that? Because
Yeah.
I'm a music guy.
Yeah, 100%. Especially for training. Like I'm gonna start posting my playlist on like in the actual dojo, but mainly consists of music that tends not to have lyrics, and if it does have lyrics, I'm very aware of what they're saying, but it's everything that's motivating. That being said, the only time I do listen to that kind of like music is during training, but I do, especially during sun cycles when it requires less intensity in terms of hypertrophy training, compound training, I can do without music. You know what I'm saying? But if I do need to push myself, I think it's a great stimulus. That you can do nicotine. You can literally start like stacking stuff. You can start chewing on. You can have like nicotine on top, and choose your side. Chew on some coffee sublingually under the tongue, and then pack it with bromotain, and you're kind of like, in terms of nootropics, super mega stacked. And you combine that with, for example, the right type of glycogen or glucose that you want before you work out. And when I say glycogen, glucose, I'm going to say like intertwined. So just let that be said beforehand. But like honey, baking soda, salt, like all these things, they're like, oh, it works. It just, you have to do it multiple times over and over again. And if you're in a fasted state, your body absorbs all these what they call micronutrients a lot better. So basically it's more bioavailable.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I've been trying to like taking creatine and the coffee. Yeah. I haven't really gone into nicotine too much. I mean,
you should.
Past, yeah, but not for this reason. And I wanted to kind of get more like the benefits from that. I wanted to know a little bit more, which I've been looking a little bit at the chats that you guys have made.
Yo, Miguel, so you've been here for 3 weeks. What's been your take? You've been like heavily focused on like the way vitality, the way the builder.
Vitality, yeah.
Okay.
because my background is like I've always been very kind of like skinny fat throughout most of my like I'm 22, so like high school and my adult pre-adult life, and I've always had trouble knowing what to do because there's always like the shred or the bulking. And so I decided when I got into here, I was like, all right, I'm going to do Vitality. I'm going to try to get as lean as possible.
Yeah.
And then build up from there. Because I'm like around 6 foot, but I'm only like 145, 8 pounds.
So you have 20, 30 pounds you could actually put on.
I know, yeah. And that's been really hard for me is like putting it on. Because I always don't know what path to do.
All right. Regardless of the path, the essence and the ethos and the pragmatic like rationale behind it is you have to become metabolically flexible. It doesn't matter which path you take if you don't come with I'm going to reset my body to factory settings. It's kind of pointless. You're just kind of like consuming content just for consuming content.
And it's never been like at a good system I've had. It's always been trying this and then trying that, and I've never had it. So this is the first time where I'm like actually taking it a lot more seriously and like it's a lifestyle switch, and I've really enjoyed it so far. I've been doing the walks after every meal. I've been doing the fasting, the intermittent fasting stuff. I haven't done like a full long one yet. I'm kind of working up to that, but I've really been enjoying learning more about like how fasting works. And
yeah, it's amazing. Like if you would have told me, Nate, you're gonna fast past like 9:30 a.m., I would have like literally laughed at you.
Yeah,
I'd be like, no way. Like it's impossible. So like,
I mean, I've heard of like the benefits of it, but never like in a very well packaged way, I guess.
And that's the issue.
That's why I really like.
And that's the biggest issue I've found out is there's so much information, misinformation, contradiction, hate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of polarity in the fitness and just this whole ecosystem. I feel like a lot of it has to do because people have emotional biases. And all the substances that people are consuming, aka junk food, tends to make people more primitive, more emotional, not rational. And then you tie that with like I don't know, people that have rigid dogmatic thinking, and then you realize, okay, that this is just bound to be some sort of mess where people just like start killing each other online. In terms of like vegans hating meat eaters, and it's just like so like kind of navigating that, learning the information. Yeah, it's honestly it's years, dude. It's just years of like learning. I was vegan for 2 years. It was bad.
I remember trying the whole vegan thing, and I did it with my dad for like a month, and then I just slowly went back to being meat, and like that month it was pescatarian, and that didn't work out, but it was a fun experiment.
Yeah, but that's good, man. I'm proud of you. What question do you have? Like, if I could answer one question, what would it be?
You kind of already did. I was just kind of like riffing on my experience now.
So if you're having
if
you're having issues putting on weight, what do you think you should do? Like, what would be your strategy? Because I could give you right now 3, 4, 5 different strategies that you could be like, okay, do this. But I want to hear it because you said I don't have any questions, so I really want to be like, okay.
Well, you answered the ones from before, but from that is right now I'm taking the approach of getting lean and getting like because it's always the center section that I want to get a little bit more lean and then start building from there. So I guess, is that a good approach?
For the way of Vitality, yes. I'm going to give you like literally what happened with me. So my neighbor, he saw me after not seen me for a while. And he looked at me like, what? You dropped so much weight. You look so shredded. Like, what happened to you? And it's literally, I just launched into my shreds. I was super busy, feasting, fasting cycles, a lot of walking, a lot of stretching. I lost some muscle mass, but my body looks more aesthetic. I feel lighter, and I dropped tons of mass. I wouldn't say in comparison to somebody who was not metabolically flexible, because 2 weeks in, you lose muscle. I was already like 2.5 months in almost. So now I'm like recompounding, and the recompound is insane, like in terms of carbohydrates. That being said, it wasn't so much for the shredding for me, it was more for a reset of my nervous system, a reset, because I did over 200 pounds of like 215, 220. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like reduce some mass. I haven't weighed myself since. I'm not a person who really measures himself. And I have all the tools. Like I could actually, like I have people that, dude, I'll do all the tests for free. And I'm like, I really don't want to, unless I'm trying to prove a point. Like, do my testosterone levels right now, and I don't see the numbers, and I can tell you, look at the baseline, I can increase it, and then do a test again, and then compare both. Like I'd be down for a test like that, but it's just more for like, the actual test, not being obsessed with numbers. That being said, guys, I'm going fully live on AS. Peace.